What's up, fam? Dr. O here, and oh my goodness, yo, the presidential debate and their responses to the presidential debate are absolutely bonkers. Yo, I mean, is this how Caesar felt? Like, I don't know. Like, in terms of, just watching the back, in terms of always being just waiting to be stabbed in it. Like, I don't get this in any way, shape, or form. Man, where to start? And I'm just keeping my little phone here because I was tweeting stuff all throughout the night that I may need to come back to that I read that I might have forgotten. But here's the case in point. Fact of the matter is, yes, Biden did not have a great performance. His voice was off. People say he had a cold or whatever. The voice was off, so the levels in terms of projecting strength with just the voice alone, which is important for a visual audience and an audio audience, of course, it didn't work. It wasn't there. And, Trump definitely looked like somebody who, was stronger and had more vigor. There's no question about that. And so on that level, and for people who are tuning in to see how Biden, works as it relates to the age test, for those people who are looking for that, they got their concerns validated as it relates to this one debate performance. Yeah, Biden stumbled, on different things, went to places he didn't need to go to, flipped from like the abortion thing to, to a question on immigration, all of that. Yo, couple of things. One, it's one night. Two, you're comparing him with a lying criminal, sexual assaulting, insurrectionist, leading, etc., 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 want to be president again. There is no comparison. He did the entire night full of lies. And one of the things I said on the Reva Martin show the other day was I was most concerned actually about the CNN moderators because I knew that Dana Bash and Jake Tapper were not going to fact check Trump in real time. And so Biden had to fact check him, and on top of that, they let Trump completely run amok. Trump is the most experienced person on that entire stage as it relates to how to handle the media. And the fact that they did not fact check him left it up to Biden. Sunak, in Great Britain, they had debates and stuff. The moderators continually said, you didn't answer the question. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. They didn't let the debaters, the candidates, excuse me, get away with not answering the question. How many times did Trump not answer questions? And they had to go back to him 3 times as it relates to will he support the election results. And as Trump said, as I'm reading this, as I'm going to my thing here, he said something to the effect of, he said, he has, I'll find it. It's somewhere here. Let's see, I think I put it here. But anyway, he basically said something to the effect of, as long as it's a good election, I'll accept it. So who determines good? Him. Now, people talk about Biden didn't answer questions. He did answer questions when they asked him about abortion. And Trump went down this whole thing saying states' rights and all of this other type of stuff. Biden said flat out, I support Roe v. Wade. That was pretty direct as far as I'm concerned. Did you also notice that Trump did not answer questions about what he would do to deal with the addiction crisis? He switched back to Ukraine. Did you also notice that he didn't say what he's going to do to help people with childcare across the country? He flipped back to Ukraine. He did not answer basic questions about some of Americans' most basic needs. And Biden did. He talked about the programs that they had already. And Biden talked about the fact that they needed to do more. So this narrative, that Biden did, he stumbled on some things, but to say he didn't answer things, he challenged Trump on Trump's nonsense about HBCUs, about, how he's done more for HBCUs, with his 255 million. And Biden came back with his 16 billion plus extending Pell Grants, came back with that, had so many different responses. And so these Democrats out there, I'm like, yo, with friends like y'all, who needs enemies? All of this stuff like Biden should step down, Biden should so let's just be real about this. Democrats, y'all non-black consultant hiring Democratic class, Democratic strategists. Who y'all gonna put up? Who y'all gonna put up? Y'all got a unified person in mind? Vice President Kamala Harris? Y'all still hating on the fact that she's vice president. Y'all ain't gonna roll with her. Gavin Newsom, really? Throwing out names like Wes Moore? Y'all ain't ready for Wes Moore. Wes Moore is ready for y'all, but y'all ain't ready for him. Oh, you're gonna throw out Elizabeth Warren so y'all can let Trump, come out with the Pocahontas narrative again? Y'all ain't got nobody. So y'all about to come up with this nonsense and make Chicago, the convention in Chicago, look worse than what happened outside Chicago and inside in '68. So come on now. I mean, Trump sitting up there called Biden a bad Palestinian. Are people in the Jewish community going to support that after the way Biden has responded as it relates to going to Israel and bear hugging Netanyahu and all that he's done to, as it relates to that war, and has done more for Israel than for Gaza and the Palestinians? If we're going to have an objective conversation about that, I mean, seriously, where were y'all debate moderators? You can't and look. To be quite honest, y'all Democratic class or consultants and strategists and donors, y'all should have never let this debate happen in the first place. It's like Jay-Z and Jim Jones, where remember Jim Jones bowling, Jay-Z said in one of his songs, he's like, yo, even if you win, ultimately you lose, because folks are like, Hov, why you getting that dude? Because he's basically going at somebody who's not on the same level. Donald Trump didn't debate anybody in the Republican primaries, so he didn't deserve the right to debate this time. Donald Trump is a liar and convicted felon, a rapist, and all of this other type of stuff. So why would you stoop down to this guy's level and give him a platform? Because to be quite honest, the way the media handles things, there's no way. I haven't heard anybody talk about Trump being the loser of this debate. Lied through it. Reasserted racist ideas about black people only being able to basically get jobs that undocumented workers are taking. That's all that black people are good for. Through that nonsense out there. Lie after lie after lie on the economy, on the choice program that Obama started, on prescription drugs. All of those lies, no fact checks. And so, some of the things I was sharing. Note that Trump did not answer the question about how he would lower the cost of childcare. Why? Because he has no plan. Some other things that I was putting out there. With his last chance to answer, he on this question on family and addiction, what did he turn to? He turned to the American journalist in Russia. That's what he turned to. The American journalist, which he also said, if I was president, I would get him out. So you don't care enough about him to get him out now? Oh, can we also talk about the fact that, Biden didn't bring this up and he should have, but the moderators also didn't bring this up? The fact that Trump said that he actually talked to Putin after he invaded Ukraine and how Putin talked about this was his dream and folks were just cool with that? I mean, seriously? Look, what else? Man, he talked about super predators. Y'all, nobody could fact check the fact that Biden never used the term super predators. And when he talked about predators, he never mentioned race. Hillary Clinton used that. Where else? He had the morals of an alley cat. That was cool, but it was an insult to alley cats, so that was real. Let's see. Oh, the whole thing about Nancy Pelosi and the troops, people aren't calling that out. It was a straight out lie. And the moderators know enough about what happened on January 6th to know that was a lie. To know that was not a lie. But let them run with it. I mean, for real, let's see. Like I said, I'm going through some of my tweets. I was going through this all night. Dude said we're living in a rat's nest. Fact of the matter is, it's all doom and gloom. Yeah, border crossings may have dipped when Trump left office. Anyone want to mention the fact that it was a freaking pandemic and people couldn't travel across the world? I mean, come on. And then this whole thing about my economy was great. Biden's economy is better than Trump's pre-COVID. That is a fact. Yo, my goodness. I'm just going to rant across a couple of other things, and then I'm just going to wrap this up because this is just ridiculous. Trump calling Biden a criminal. Okay. So there are other things I can say that I tweeted here that that I'm not going to go into right now. But the fact of the matter is, as Josh Fetterman said, who really had to deal with the debate issues because of the strokes, he's like, I've been here before, and people do need to chill out. And these guys who are more concerned about Biden's one performance, and Biden's going to have a strong thing on what he does in the next few days. about this one performance in a debate that they never should have allowed to happen is definitely the absolute definition of bedwetting and talking about this man should step aside. And, I appreciate what Eddie Glaude Jr. said, on Morning Joe, this morning. This is a time for us to buckle down. This is a time for us to strap up. We know that we have a president and a vice presidential candidate who supports women's rights, who supports civil rights. Biden's going to be talking later this week, commemorating, Stonewall, which happened 55 years ago in 1969. That rebellion that was led by the LGBTQ community, against the police. I say led by because, as the great Clay Cane reminds us, there were people who are not part of the LGBTQ community who came down there to support them. Joe Biden's going to talk about that. Joe Biden pardoning LGBTQ people who were, court-martialed and all of that for sex that they had while in the military. Going back to the 50s. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And so really, at the end of the day, these Democrat, as they say, bedwetters, it is ridiculous. These donors who are probably, too scared to come, who probably won't even be able to have a company if Trump gets into office. This isn't about comparing Biden to the almighty. It's about comparing him to the alternative. So you want to talk about weakness? The Democratic Party will look weak by saying, we're going to support Biden stepping down and he needs to do that now. And people are comparing this to RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, in the Supreme Court, and how she should have stepped down. It's not the same thing, because with the Supreme Court, there's no clear succession plan in place, because you got the Mitch McConnells of the world and all who will try to block this and block that and you got the Joe Manchins of the world who or people like him, in terms of the next political office. Saying, well, I don't know, this guy, they made a Black Lives Matter statement back in 1975 when people weren't even saying Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying, they'll just pull up anything. So with a president, there's a succession plan, right? If heaven forbid something happens to Biden, then we have a vice president who becomes president. So look, if y'all are so serious about this, let Biden get in there, let him win, throw the support behind him. Then after he wins, he can decide to step down. Let Vice President Harris run it for the next few years. Why can't y'all be strategic like that? Y'all can't strategize around that? Y'all are a joke. This is ridiculous. To let this dude who's led to Trump, increasing hate crimes, all of this stuff across the country. It is, there is fair critique for Biden and the debate performance. But these guys who are on some it's over type nonsense over after one debate performance. And people compare to other debates. People lost Obama and other people. Yeah, but people weren't looking for Obama for his age and all that other type of stuff. So we get that. Y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up and remember what we're really facing as it relates to this election. Y'all need to really look in the mirror as it relates to that. And anybody who replaces Biden in these next 4 months or whatever, it's going to make the Democratic Party look weak. And y'all know full up, y'all are not unified on any candidate whatsoever. So y'all just going to have 4 months of chaos, which is, this is Hitler-esque. You know why? Because Hitler didn't have the majority of the vote to win. He didn't need it. You just need to have dissension amongst this group of people. You need to have people who are, disaffected about this group of people. And you need to have a cowardly business class. All people who are just going to step back. And Trump is practicing perfectly as relates to chip away this group, chip away that group, chip away that group. And now I'm in power and y'all can't do a damn thing about it. I would think this stuff would be obvious. I appreciate what Reverend Sharpton was saying. It's like, y'all, getting 12 hours later, this guy needs to resign. He needs to step down. Y'all are handing this joint over to Trump. The Republicans don't need to fall in love. They just need to fall in line. That's what they do. Shout out to all the Republicans out there who are never Trumpers, the Adam Kinzingers of the world, who are, out there, saying, I don't agree with Biden on everything, but I support democracy. General John Kelly, are you just going to sit silent and let Trump lie on you like that on live TV like that? Where are all of the generals? I mean, come on. And Trump talks about Biden. You didn't fire any generals. Yeah, but Trump also didn't. Biden also didn't call for any generals to be assassinated. So look, I'm gonna just end. My brother, KD shared a post from somebody that they said, I'm just gonna leave it at this. Just because Alfred may be a little bit older and behind a few steps, it doesn't mean you turn over the Batcave to the Joker. Peace.